Welcome to Bull Market Thinking. I'm your host, Takoa De Silva. With us here on the line is David Morgan, commonly known as the Silver Guru and publisher of the Morgan Report. David, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Over the last 2 years, gold has been stagnating, painfully so, with silver having been even more volatile. You having studied the silver market since about the age of 9, when you look at the price, when you look at the fundamentals, what are your thoughts here as you look at silver?
There's higher lows going back the last 3 months on the XAU, the HUI, and the GDX, but we don't know if they're, at the bottoms in or not. It sure looks like it to me. As far as the metals go, I'm pretty sure that key reversal on the 28th of June was it. Again, time will tell. I mean, every day that trades above that shows that that's the bottom. We're in a 22, which is a far cry from the 1837 or whatever it hit in intraday, but it's not untypical of a major bull market like we're in to get a massive pullback like we've seen. Gold, as you said, I think was September 2 years ago, and silver actually peaked before gold, the $48 level, in like the 1st of May 2011. So it's been really trying on metals investors over the last couple of years. Again, this isn't that uncommon. I recall in the first bull market, I'm that old, that we saw gold from its official price, fixed price, unleashed in 71 and move all the way up to 200 over time. And then under William Simon's time at the Treasury, it sold off substantially and moved down to just a cat's whisker over 100. And I remember the gnashing of teeth in there. Just people couldn't believe that, gold had been to 200. It's now at 100, and a lot of people gave up, and it took some time to work back to 200. And even then, people thought, well, it's a double top. I mean, it's been, from the fixed price to 200 down to about 100 and all the way back to 200. I thought it was a double top and got out. But that was the wrong thing to have done, because it really went from the 200 mark to 850 over time, and not in a fairly short period of time, relatively speaking, to the amount of time in the bull market. I'll be speaking about that in my presentation at the Silver Summit about how markets move in general. And generally, almost all markets, you can look at the tech wreck, you can look at the housing bubble. It's not that long ago, 2007, 2008. And there gets to be an acceleration point where it becomes like the got-to-have investment. And once that happens, you get an acceleration in price to the upside. And I really expect that to happen in metals. But it's not here, it's not now, and it's not going to be this year. It's probably not even going to be in 2014. But I'm very confident it will take place.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think that we need to see, David, as a sign to suggest that upside process is finally beginning to occur?
I think once we get through this overhead resistance, which again is going to take time, and you see silver get above 26 and gold above 1550, that was the breakdown point. That was the point where just about everybody, even some of the most ardent bulls, gave up on the market. Those levels held support for a long time before they broke through to the downside. Once we achieve that and they maintain that as through the upside, we build a base, and we once build a base and start moving higher, then I think a lot of smart money that's left the sector will start coming back in. Once that volume picks up, then I think you're going to see, a lot more upside. But again, it's going to take time. But if you know these things ahead of time, one of my favorite quotes is, "Chance favors the prepared mind." If you really think through what's going on, fundamentally things haven't changed. I mean, they just announced Janet Yellen to take over from Helicopter Ben. This is something that, people should consider. She's very much a dove, at least what she says. We wrote about her in the Morgan Report last month. Certainly, most people would expect a easier monetary policy out of the Fed for a while with her at the helm. So, again, the fundamentals, I hate to keep stressing that, but you have to, again, go back and know why you own it.
Mm-hmm. David, we saw the interesting things happening all throughout this year in the physical gold market as far as the supplies disappearing out of the warehouses, the physical being vacuumed up all throughout Asia, and that's against the backdrop of a falling price. So when you look at the physical silver market, do you see any of those kind of clarion calls happening?
Overall, is the market still tight and the silver supply? The answer is yes, it is. But is it so tight that, someone buying another box of Silver Eagles is going to take the market higher? No, it's not that tight. But overall, it's still, I think, a better investment than gold, relatively speaking, because it's been beat up more than gold. However, both silver and gold, particularly silver, are at the margin right now. What do I mean? The margin means what it costs a primary silver producer to get it out of the ground and refined. It's around $22 an ounce, and that's where we are. So anytime you can buy a commodity at or below, especially below the cost of production, and have some patience, you're going to make some money. I don't think it can go a lot lower than it is right now. Not to say that it couldn't, but it wouldn't stay there for very long. You can't run any business at a loss for a long time. It can happen for a while, and you can suck it up and move on. But, again, it wouldn't last for a very long time.
David, you mentioned there a minute ago the Silver Summit, that you're going to be giving a presentation there. For people listening, what's the value of going to a show like that right now in this type of market that we're in here?
Well, I think if you're bullish gold or silver, and particularly silver, it's probably the most silver-focused event anywhere. It was started over 10 years ago, and I think we had, I know what we had. I had 112 people that showed up, but they're from all over the world: Australia, South America, Europe, all over the place. So the silver bulls are certainly alive and aware. It's grown to probably 1,000 or more now. So I think, one, if you're invested in the sector, you should stay abreast of what's going on. So I think it's worthwhile from that perspective. If you're hungry for good opportunities, I mean, these stocks have really been beaten up. I think it would behoove anyone that would like to have a high potential gain and have some patience to go and visit some of these companies, because they all put up booths, and you can, in many cases, talk to the CEO or the geologist or both right and, face to face. There's not too many conferences where you can do that. And lastly, if you're down on a particular company that you've held for a while and they're showing up at the Silver Summit, it's a great opportunity, again, to go face to face with the company or the company representatives and determine whether you should buy, sell, or hold. In other words, you might want to add, you might want to sell, you might want to hold it, and that's a great place to do it. And we have both sides. In other words, there's a lot of people very bullish silver, and that's the majority, but there are others that are really not that let's say, keen on the silver market. They have their forum and their day to speak as well. So we try to keep it balanced. Obviously, it's more bullish than bearish, but nonetheless, you'll hear both sides.
Mm-hmm. And David, what are your thoughts on the value of mine tours, of actually going in and seeing a working silver mine? Because I know that that's going to be part of the agenda there at the show at the Silver Summit as well.
Well, a lot of times just, seeing it is very important. I mean, these guys, whoever the company is, generally speaking, and of course I'll do this in a general way, I mean, they've always got the best property and the best location with the best infrastructure and the best mining manager and the best geologist, and, they all say that. And so when you're on a mine site, what they consider to be the best infrastructure, you might say is, this thing is horrible. I mean, you can get here in the summer, but you'll never get here in the winter. Or the townspeople don't like the way the project's being handled, and that's very rare, by the way. But when you're on the ground, you can get a much better sense for, what the water supply is, what the townspeople like, how far it is from, the nearest mill, on and on and on. And, hearing it from some mining guy is, fine, but being there means a lot. So there's been, for an example, one time early on, there was a certain site that I actually liked, had high grade, pretty much everything I liked. The problem was, and no one's going to like me saying this, but I will, is it was really too close to, let's say, the marijuana fields. And because of that, I just backed off. I just felt that it was in an area that was not safe. And no one really talks about that in the mining industry. And to be honest with you, Takoa, I was naive. I mean, I never really thought about it that much, but that's the benefit of being there on the ground and seeing, who's running around and who isn't.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, David, what we'll do for our listeners is include the information to the Silver Summit on the interview page here. So for people that want to listen to your presentation or go on those mind tours, they can certainly do that. Outside of that, is there anything else that you think that we may have missed?
No, I appreciate your time, and I just would, again, state that if you're interested in the sector or you're about ready to give up or throw in the towel or that type of thing, take a deep breath. If you can afford it, come down to the Silver Summit, get one-on-one with, whoever is, one of your favorite speakers or speakers, get with the companies that you own or want to own, that type of thing. I think it's just behooves you and yourself to actually get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, before you make, a rash decision. I hate seeing people sell at the bottom only to see it just start moving away from them. And I've been, market savvy for a long time, not that I don't make errors, but I've seen that time and time again where people just give up at exactly the wrong time, and then the market starts moving up, and it starts to move up slowly, and they just sort of like, oh, it's okay, it's coming back, or I'll get it when it's lower, and that never happens. So, word to the wise, stay balanced, don't put too much in the sector, get good information, trust yourself, and I guess I'd leave with that.
All right, well, the Silver Guru, David Morgan, publisher of the Morgan Report, thank you so much for sharing your comments here with us again.
Dakota, thank you.
Silver123.net is a silver saver program designed to be as simple as possible. For as little as $50 per month, you can set up and create an automatic cost average buying program that will get silver or gold sent to your door on a monthly basis. The first step to creating an account is easy. You will supply some basic information. Next, you will add a bank account from which you will schedule your purchases. Scheduling purchases makes saving easy. Silver Saver is customizable and allows you to control the amount and the date of purchase. Once you are signed up, you are then given your affiliate code. Now you can save in precious metals and also market this program. You can use email, web pages, and multiple forms of social media to share the Silver Saver program. Silver Saver will reward you generously with physical silver or gold whenever someone you refer becomes a saver. Silver Saver not only provides you with a share code, but also allows you to place your own banner ad on a website of your own. Silver Saver is one of the best ways to start saving and accumulating gold or silver, especially at these levels. Visit silver123.net and start saving today.